He's been in the furnace. People forgot that. Yeah, it wasn't a boxing furnace, it was the UFC furnace. But he had been in the ring where the devil knocks at the door and tempts you to give in. He'd been through that. And I knew he wasn't going to wilt.
Pro Boxing fans here with Teddy Atlas. Teddy, it's a pleasure seeing you for the second time. Last time I saw you was out for Fury and Ngannou, I think it was. How are you, sir? How's things?
Good. I'm over here for the fight. I was at the gym, at Mike Tyson gym, training all the young youth. The youth, I shouldn't say young youth, of course, the youth, they're young. But the youth, the Saudi Arabian junior fighters. And I was impressed. I was impressed with their enthusiasm, their work ethic, and their skill levels. So it was nice to be in there, work with them a little bit the last 2 days. And Turkey Al-Sheikh was kind enough, His Excellency, to ask me to come over. And it's a great atmosphere. It's a great show, and it should be a very interesting fight.
Let's talk about this fight then. I know it's very, very loud right now with the fans, but talk to me about this. Anthony Joshua has the Olympic medal. He's a former two-time champion. He should be winning this on Friday night, shouldn't he?
I favor Joshua. The experience should tell, but when you have power the way that Mr. Ngannou has, that's a great eraser. It can erase a lot of experience. It can erase a lot of sins, a lot of mistakes. So you can never discount the chance of a guy who has that kind of power, but not just that kind of power, but also the skill level, the technique that he's developed in a relatively short amount of time. Although he's had kickboxing experience, people forget about that. But you got to give his trainer, Dewey Cooper, some credit, a lot of credit, because it's one thing to have power, it's another thing to have the delivery system to use that power, to get it to the target. Otherwise, it's got no value. My mentor, Costamato, had the best saying. He used to say to me when I was a young trainer, Teddy, if you just have power, it's like having a military weapon, like a bomb. If you don't have a missile to get it to the target, it's just going to blow up and make a big hole in the ground, and when the rain's out, you can go swimming. In other words, the power is the value with power is minimal if there's no delivery system, no missile to get it to the target. But that's the curious thing here, isn't it? That the guy who had only been in the ring for his first time against Fury as a professional fighter had a delivery system pretty good. He had a good counter left hook that was very quick, very explosive, and of course caught Fury in a vulnerable area behind the ear.
I was going to ask you actually on that. A lot of people talk about Ngannou's power, but he showed against Tyson that he's got a little bit more than power. He looked very comfortable in there at times. What did you notice about Ngannou against Tyson that sort of shocked you a little bit?
The thing was his comfort level in the ring, how calm, but you know what? I have to be honest. That seemed to shock a lot of people. I'm not being a Monday morning quarterback because I did say this before the fight. I wasn't surprised that he would be calm in the ring in an uncalm environment, because that's what really destroys a lot of these crossover athletes that come to boxing. It's not the physicality so much, or even sometimes the technique. It's the ability to go in the cauldron, to go in the fire, to go in the furnace, to get in the ring and deal with that pressure, to deal with that fear, quite frankly. That takes experience, that takes time, that takes forging, that takes development. And that's why I wasn't surprised by Ngannou having that kind of performance. First of all, he's a great athlete. He has striking ability, he's got power. But the most important thing, he's been in the furnace. People forgot that. Yeah, it wasn't a boxing furnace, it was the UFC furnace. but he had been in the ring where the devil knocks at the door and tempts you to give in. He'd been through that. And I knew he wasn't going to wilt from the heat. I knew he wasn't going to disappear because of that. That was the one reason. Power, athleticism, everything else put aside. That was the one reason why I gave him a chance, because he has been in that environment, the environment of a real fighter, and he has the experience in that, and he's behaved correctly in that environment. That environment was not going to deteriorate him. It was not going to evaporate him. That's why I give him a chance tomorrow night, because of that. It's the same reason. I favor Joshua. With Joshua, I have a feeling. I see him in a more comfortable yet serious place than I have in a long time. Like now, obviously he's made enough money for 2 lifetimes. Him and Hearns have done a magnificent job. God bless him. Great job. Unless he's a maniac, he'll never be able to spend all that money. But I see something different in him now. I see now it truly is about more than the money. I feel it from my experience. If my experience of 50 years means anything about understanding human nature and boxing, it just tells me that it's about his pride now. It's about him, about how he feels about himself. I guess you could call it legacy, but really more about just who he is and who he's going to be the rest of his life. And because of that, I see him in the best position he could be in to win a very dangerous fight, even though he's got all the advantage as far as experience. Gold medalist from the Olympics, 2-time heavyweight champ, all of that. But it's not only about that. It's about what's inside, what's most important to you and how you're comfortable at that point. What is driving you at that point? I think the right thing is driving him right now.
Teddy, always a pleasure talking to you, always getting an insight of your boxing brain. A lot of people seem to like to hear what you say about fights, which is why you've got your own podcast and everything else. But thank you so much. We'll see you on fight night, and good luck. I know you've picked up an injury whilst out here, so good luck with the recovery.
Yeah, I tore my MCL, my ACL. I was training the young future stars of Riyadh in the gym here, and I guess for a minute I forgot I'm not so young.
Teddy Atlas, always a pleasure there. Thank you very much.